Fiveish Fangirls, I love you, and I'm one of the Fiveish. In fact, I'm the biggest one of the Fiveish. I am the Sixth Doctor Colin Baker, and I wish you all well. Have fun.
That just as we continue all the way to episode 501 of the Fiveish Fangirls Podcast. Taste that air. It's the air of learning, the atmosphere of evolution. It's the oxygen of wisdom. Oh yes, this is the place, all right. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls Podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like a direct with the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem. Bengal, sorry.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you to everyone that joined us for our big anniversary celebration last week.
It was a good time.
Yes, it was.
And all the comments, either offline or afterwards, as well, much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all. Yep. And also, yesterday, if you had Father's Day, a happy Father's Day to all the dads and father figures out there. And I hope you all got to spend some time with family if possible. Or
Absolutely.
Cool.
So, alrighty then. Well, as much as we don't want to, we got to do some 10 o'clock news, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a rough week in the celebrity realm. So, but a couple of noticeable ones, a couple of musicians, some significant musicians. Sly Stone, the Sly and the Family Stone, has died at the age of 82. Like if you were a fan of rock, little kind of disco-ish, in some cases, music of the late 60s and 70s, you probably heard you probably heard his influence. So obviously Sly and the Family Stone was a significant band of their time period. The entire band was a mix of different musicians, male, female, black, white. Women didn't just sing, they played instruments. So but a lot of funk, soul, R&B. So even if you don't know the name, you've probably heard their music. I was even saying this to Chauncey. I was like, "Oh, Sly Stone passed away," and he's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Sly and the Family Stone." He's like, "I don't know." I was like, so I had to pull up Everyday People for him, and he's like, okay."
Dance to the music. Thank you for letting me be myself with the weird
hot fun in the summertime.
Yep.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that it seems like their music's everywhere, even if you don't know them. You're like, oh,
right. Or it's like, oh, okay, that's them.
It's a Boyd commercial or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah. They famously performed at Woodstock at 3:30 in the morning amidst a downpour.
Like you do.
Yep. But it was Woodstock, and everyone was like, "Hey, we're here. Let's just play in the mud."
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yep. So yeah. That's he struggled a bit, with drugs, among other things, unfortunately. But he eventually got clean and was able to spend time with his kids and grandkids. So
Yeah. So anytime, you know, 82 is not an insignificant age.
mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, especially considering the
Yeah.
substance use that tends
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it tends
some
to
of these
cut
rock
the life
idols that are
expectancy
like,
down a
oh, you're
little. So
still around.
yeah,
That's
Mhm.
awesome. Good for you, man.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
I almost want to say that he was on The Masked Singer, but I don't think so.
I
But
can't
I also could be
remember.
wrong. So
I
yeah,
don't remember.
yeah. I don't. I now that I think about, I don't think so. I think I'm thinking of someone else. So he would have been good to have on The Masked Singer, probably.
Oh yeah.
that would have been funny.
Yep. And then our other, strangely enough, or coincidentally enough, he also died at the age of 82.
I know.
But
I saw that. It was like,
yeah, but Brian Wilson of the Beach
Mhm.
Boys
Yeah.
passed away at the age of 82. So, and I yeah, not just the Beach Boys, but you know, he was a prolific writer and
Mhm.
um so
Influenced a lot of artists.
yes,
it was
yes,
very
yep. He was I mean, we've mentioned it quite a bit when we talk about the Beatles.
Oh yeah.
But Pet Sounds, which actually will be turning 60 next year, was a huge influence on a lot of bands, not just the Beatles, but yeah, he was unfortunately the once the Beach Boys broke up, there's some issues as far as like who owned what and
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And
So
then him getting involved with a couple of not so nice people and
yep,
yeah.
yep. So but yeah, but he still, he still toured. Obviously those of us of a certain age know that John Stamos
Uh-huh.
actually toured with the
In
Beach
fact,
Boys.
many of us were introduced to the Beach Boys through Full House. Because
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because John Stamos was friends and is a fellow musician. He has toured as a drummer with the Beach Boys off and on. So that was real life or art imitating real life.
Mhm.
Um, so and of course, his not just his legacy, but those around him too, considering two of his daughters were 2/3 of Wilson Phillips.
Yes.
So
Yep.
there's those. We'll have to talk about Pet Sounds probably next year at
Oh
some
yeah.
point,
Yep.
since it is having a big anniversary. Now let's move on to some happier news with some trailers and teasers, including our first look at our newest entry into the Knives Out series of films with Wake Up Dead Man, which will be releasing on Netflix this December. So, I'm very excited.
Mhm.
So, we've actually, all over Gold Standard, we've discussed Knives Out, the first Knives Out film, and here's hoping that they can continue to keep me guessing. So, 'cause
Rose.
unfortunately, my brain is wired in a way that once I realize I'm faced with a mystery, even if I'm not conscious about it, I'm subconsciously trying to solve said mystery before it's actually revealed to us in whatever medium it is. And a lot of times I'm right. And Sometimes I'm wrong and it's still disappointing, but so far Knives Out has kept me guessing. So what the big twist is. So but yeah, that will be exciting coming out this winter. Also coming up close to the holiday season, we got our first trailer for Wicked for Good. So the second half of Wicked post intermission, as it were. Still a lot coming. If you don't know this, if you don't know the musical, you don't know the source material. Obviously, we've covered this to a point when we talked about the Wizard of Oz as a whole, late last year. But you know, this as harrowing as it was in the first and emotional as it was in the first half, the second half is even more emotional. I'm gonna have to have lots of Kleenex hand. I know For Good, the song For Good is going to kill me more than likely.
I listen to it and I always get all weepy and boo-hooey.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just listen to the song.
Yeah, like the second half, it is like there's still some happy stuff. There's a lot of romance, there's a lot of steaminess there. But it's also there's some violence, and not all of it is necessarily from the person who's labeled as wicked.
Right.
You know, so but it's also very, I mean, it all comes down to the friendship between Elphaba and Glinda at the end of it all. And you know, For Good is just I'm going to die of all the feels I know already. So but yeah, like the Wicked train, it's not really slowing down. They're just gonna keep that baby going until we get this other half of the musical. So should be good. Very, very good. And then this, I about died. Because all I saw was just a thumbnail with a little bit of text, and I'm like, is this what I think it is?
Is this legit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, are we a belated April Fool's here? Nope. This is totally
something.
This is not a drill. This is
not a
real.
drill. But by the time it's released, after 40 years, we are finally getting Spaceballs, the sequel. To be determined if it will be Spaceballs: The Search for More Money.
I think it would be hilarious, and I've seen this one floated around because Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money is a little too obvious.
Yeah.
Spaceballs 3: The Search for Spaceballs 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
But you know what?
Yeah.
And they, the teaser, it was kind of funny how they're like going through all of this many Star Wars movies,
being
Star
very
Trek,
meta.
Yes.
Yeah.
And an animated Lion King, an animated live action Lion King, a prequel to the. Just like, oh my gosh, you guys went there. I love it. So, and Mel Brooks, there he was in Spaceballs, the sweatshirt. Looking pretty dang good. Like, what is he, 98?
Yeah, he'll be 100 when this gets released, or beginning, thereabouts.
Please, pray for the continued good health.
Yes,
the Schwartz is with him.
Yes, Mel Brooks, because, oh my gosh, yes, please, a world without Mel Brooks is no world at all.
And welcome back, Rick Moranis, to the world of acting.
I was excited. I was excited to hear about that one.
So far, we know that yes, Rick is coming out of retirement. He's been doing voiceover work, but he's not done any like face acting for a very, very long time. But yes, he is essentially coming out of retirement for this. Obviously, Mel will be back as Yogurt, among other things. I'm sure he will make other appearances as other characters, as he does often in his films. where he doesn't play just one role.
Right.
Obviously some of the cast is no longer with us. John Candy's no longer with us. Joan Rivers is no longer with us. But presumably we're going to get presumably Lone Star and Princess Vespa did get married. Hopefully they're still married. This isn't a Han and Leia thing. They're gonna have a son.
And you know what? And
Right,
if they drop a joke about, oh, we're not gonna break up our I would really appreciate it, because I was very annoyed when the sequel trilogy did that. That was like almost unforgivable.
You're breaking up my OTP.
Yes.
Seriously, but no, never mind. So we are. So all we have is just that really big long crawl, which was hilarious in its own right.
I mean, and that's just scratching the surface of the past 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which that is just like a handful of things that they could potentially make fun of and or reference.
There's so much.
There is so much pop culture. It's like, yes, Spaceballs was parroting Star Wars above anything else, but there were references to other things too. And now that
I mean, they got John Hurt to come in and do the alien
right
in the diner. So I mean,
not again.
Yeah.
So Bill Pullman's gonna be in it.
His son is gonna be playing, presumably.
He's gonna be playing his actual, his son. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, with Mel Brooks obviously he had to give his blessing, and he is involved, I'm sure, as much as possible. So I'm like, let's hope that he has the most control over it. Obviously, there's gonna be someone else directing and whatever, but nobody can do Mel Brooks like Mel Brooks. And if you try to copy him, you will be a poor imitation. Just
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we will see. We will see what happens.
Yeah. No, but that's if anything else, obviously a world, like you said, a world without Mel Brooks would be pretty awful. But if this is one of the last major things he does as he reaches 100, which I mean, he can still keep going after 100. There have been celebrities that have, but it's like, if this is one of the last things he does is we finally get that Spaceballs sequel, I am happy.
Yes.
As a Mel Brooks fan. So
I just remember, because last year? Yeah, I know I've talked about this before. Last year I listened to his memoirs on audiobook, and he reads it and all that kind of thing. And he kind of, I don't think, if I remember right, he didn't like come out and say it, but he kind of has there's this feeling about him that's like, oh, I've done that, so I don't need to do it again. Or, he always wants to do new things. In fact, him writing his memoir was like, oh, I've never written a book before, so let me do this. I mean, I was there for everything. Which, if you have not listened to his memoir, you should. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Just don't listen to it while you're eating, drinking, or handling heavy machinery.
Yes, that too. Although I did.
I was driving as we were listening to it. And it was.
Yeah, you do. So just be aware of that. But no, it's great, and there's just a lot of really good insight with all the movies and all the projects that he's been involved in his whole career and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just recommend it, whether you're a Mel Brooks fan, whether you just like to read memoirs, or like good comedy. It is not to be missed. But I just kind of got that feeling of the reason it took so long to do Spaceballs too is like, oh, I've done that, so why go back to that well again when I can do other things, which fair.
He doesn't do. I mean, none of his films have ever had a sequel.
No, I mean, there was the History of the World Part 2, but that was a series on Hulu.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm not entirely sure how much he was involved in it. but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spaceballs, you kind of. So we will see. We'll see how it
Mhm.
goes. We'll see what happens, how it turns out, and if it is a return to form, or like he ever left form.
Yeah.
it'll be a good time. So we are very.
Yes.
I think the entire internet is very much looking forward to it. It's one of those things that unites us all. Doesn't matter,
Mhm.
any of that other crap. It's like Spaceballs. Everyone loves it.
Yes.
The Princess Bride in
Mhm.
that regard.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, that's so ripe for cameos and
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes, it's very, very exciting. Like, let's see what you got.
yeah. Oh, so exciting. So, all right. That is
That's the news. Oh, one little bit. Well, as we are recording right now in about like an hour and a half, Jared, I said I would plug this for him. Well, I wanted to. Jared is going to be on the Geek Gab live stream / podcast. So, probably by the time this goes up, it will have the live stream will be over, but it will be on the Geek Gab YouTube channel. I put a link in there so you can probably watch it after. Jared's going to be on there talking about. Well, the thumbnail is for his book, Mech Bunny, but he'll probably talk about like his newest book, all his series, all that
Yep.
kind of stuff. So that's it. The podcast host there. He's an acquaintance of ours, and he's a good guy. So it'll be a good time. So if you want to check that out, please do and support them over there. And then also, like I said, Jared's got a new book out. If you haven't read it yet, it's the latest in the Morgan Black series. So if you're following that, go read it. It's on Amazon, which I'm sure they'll talk about in the podcast. So, but I just wanted to plug that super quick.
woohoo.
Woo! Yes, that was it. We good.
Yep. Big publishers don't have a monopoly on great stories. Support indie authors like J.M. Anjawardin and dive into gripping sci-fi adventures. His books are available now on Amazon. Go check them out. All right. Moving on to feedback. Got some feedback from Shalane. This actually came last week, but because we did the live show,
Okay.
we diverted from our usual format, so
Yeah. Do you want me to read this out? You sound like you're a bit.
no, I'm trying to shovel dinner while the rest of y'all are talking. So
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
No.
So Shalane's feedback. She talks
Yes.
about the non-Disney animation things we have covered. So these are non-Disney animated movies and stuff. DreamWorks, we did Road to El Dorado, it's a good one. Illumination, Super Mario Brothers and the Grinch. Studio Ghibli, Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. Again, these are ones that we covered. 20th Century Fox, which is pre-Disney, Anastasia. Sent a link to some maps to each studio. Oh, the maps each shows a big title. Super handy for future picks. Thank you very much. And her personal favorite non-Disney top 3: Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, How to Train Your Dragon, which I just showed that to Lottie this weekend because the DVD 3-pack was like on sale, so we got it.
Nice.
And Anastasia, which I definitely agree with Anastasia and How to Train Your Dragon. I like Spider-Man. I'm not like super like foaming at the mouth for it, but it's still good. Honorable mentions to Trolls and Hotel Transylvania. Hotel Transylvania is excellent if you've not watched those. Although I haven't watched
They are some cute
They are
movies.
great, especially if you were a fan of 90s Cartoon Network like Dexter's Lab and even Powerpuff Girls
Mhm.
and Samurai Jack. Gendy Tartakovsky, he directed Transylvania, and his style, I love it. It's just all over the place, and to see it in CGI is different, and I like it. I don't know that it's my favorite for his style, but it still works. So it's really good. But the whole movie, fabulous. Also, back to her feedback. Why she started listening, this was for our 11th birthday, which we had fun. Back in college, there was social media chatter around How to Train Your Dragon 2 versus Frozen, had me stressed about fandom drama. Oh dear, yes. Internet drama. Poo on you. People, and it's only just gotten worse as we've gone. But here we go. Your show reminded me people can love Disney and Marvel and Star Wars without gatekeeping. This is a funny thing about gatekeeping. Who is keeping you out of things? Like, is someone going to stand at the door of the movie theater or the video store or, your Netflix login and say, no, you can't watch this thing because I don't like you?
Exactly.
I always that concept just always baffled me. I'm like, well, are you going to stop me from buying this thing that I like or buying a ticket or whatever? I'm like, stupid. So, so you're not, so people are being jerks and not being nice in the clubhouse. F them. Anyway, back to her. Make me feel at home. So thank you. And so here's our roll call for us Fiveish fangirls. What we are all experts on, according to her. So Rachel, you are an expert at Disney parks, the MCU, and My Little Pony. I am an expert in historical dramas. Sure. Star Wars. Okay. Firefly. Plus anime. I'll take the anime one. I wouldn't claim to be an expert. I'm just passionate about some of those. Brittany, you're the X-Men guru. Holly, you sure, maybe. This is according to her in her headcanon. Holly, Buffy, Star Wars, and Willow.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I'd add Labyrinth in there. And
some Star Trek as well.
Some Star Trek, yes.
Star Trek, yes. Did I miss anything? Yeah, it's fine. We're good.
You got the major bases.
you got the bases covered. We're good. All right, and then keep going on. Some Disney creatives moved to DreamWorks and vice versa. Well, that's how DreamWorks more or less got started.
Yep.
That's kind of its origin story.
There it is. Yeah. There's your villain story. I wouldn't call them villains, but you know what I mean. So she's also starting some collections.
Katzenberg's still not on my Christmas card list.
No, there were some other. The fact that he wanted to cut out part of your world from Little Mermaid is like,
Like I said, occasionally he's like a clock. Occasionally it can be right. Every once in a while. But in general, his reputation of wanting to do things, and thankfully people stopped him.
Yes. This is why,
but he thought it was a good idea at the time.
This is why executives need someone around to tell them no or to stand up to them.
Right. Okay? You're kind of like the kitty cat with the squirt bottle. Don't do it.
Yes. It's like we need to have balance in the force. Yoda was trying to tell us, man.
We got enough disturbances as it is. We don't need more.
Yes. Let's see. So she's also starting some plushie collection, Stitch and Angel plushies, and Toothless and Night Fury figures. That's awesome. At my old theater job, I worked with a couple who loved both Disney and DreamWorks. She even choreographed DreamWorks shows at Universal and is choreographing Disney's Newsies this summer. Proof the two fandoms can coexist. The only fandoms that cannot coexist are certain sports team fandoms, and even then, it's okay. All right. The only fandoms I really can't stand are Cowboys fans and Lakers fans. Everyone else I'm pretty copacetic. I'm even Patriots fans, now that they've been humbled a bit.
Yeah.
I can tolerate them. All right, we're good. Cowboys fans just can't keep too much ego. I don't know what. Let's see, local theater shout out. Okay, Her Universe has merch that covers Disney and DreamWorks. Yes, Her Universe is awesome.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Again, also, someone could get us in touch with Ashley XD.
Yes.
And get the schedule thing sorted out.
Yes, we know. Also, happy to report I finally saw Wicked on tour in Salt Lake. First touring show for me in perfect timing before the movie drops. Still waiting on the full trailer though. Well, like we said, this feedback came before last week, so is a teeny bit out of date, but not too bad. That's all for now. Thanks for the great episode and happy 500th.
Thank you, Shalene.
Yes. great to hear from you. And yes, so anyway, thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
From Hollywood classics to wait, that one? We're watching every Best Picture winner. Join us for laughs, debates, and plenty of award season hot takes. Gold Standard, the Oscars podcast. Listen now.
So now that we're moving on from all our housekeeping feedback stuff, well, let's roll right.
Speaking
into
of birthdays,
birthdays, yes,
because we kind of had
a birthday.
we kind of had that big birthday, between the scheduling with the Chrissy with the kids, and then we had the big birthday last week, so things are slightly off. But we did take care of Chrissy's Big Finish.
Yes, we did.
Pick.
And it took me a couple of weeks because, like we said,
Yeah, and then
now,
recently, Brittany has also had a birthday, and actually, as we're recording this, it's Charles' birthday. Appropriately, we're doing something Doctor Who related.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
So
as per tradition, since it was Brittany's turn to pick a Big Finish audio for us to do, and as I alluded to a couple episodes ago, this was in no way influenced by me. It was just a suggestion. But as she was struggling to make a pick because of what happened on Doctor Who recently in the most recent season, I was like, hey, there are 2 Big Finish audios with this character as well. So, so Brittany was like, sounds like a plan.
Exactly.
A wonderful plan, honestly.
Yes. Yeah.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions.
So many minds. So many people.
The Rani Elite.
Incredible. This booth is actually smaller on the inside.
The doors won't open.
If you hang on just a moment.
Doctor, what are you doing?
Now, genius at work. That shouldn't have happened.
I have to say, you've been rather a disappointment. But very soon, this will all be over for you.
Thank you for the gun, Doctor.
Perry? But that's just it. You're not Perry, are you?
You see, you do know me after all. I knew you would. Spit it out, girl. I can see it's on the tip of your tongue.
The Rani!
Subscribers get more at bigfinish.com.
I remember when these were announced back, it's like more than 10 years ago now.
Yes. Yeah, this came out December 2014, so our show was 6 months old.
Yeah, and it was like came out right after we got the news that Kate O'Mara passed away, unfortunately. And then if you get the audio version with like all the interviews and stuff at the end, they kind of talked about that, because she had, as if you don't know, she played the Rani on the TV stories in the 80s, and she's wonderful. She's just a lovely, lovely person, great villain, and that was one when Stephen Moffat was doing Doctor Who, and I was like, come on, bring back the Rani, come on, you can do this. She's a great villain, so sadistic. I mean, she has no morals whatsoever. I mean, the Master's kind of nuts, but she's just like, yes, I'm going to experiment.
She's mad scientist nuts. The Master is mustache twirling villain nuts. The Rani is mad scientist nuts.
Yes.
Yep.
So then Big Fish like, oh, we'll do the Rani, and it's in the interview, Kate O'Mara had said, oh yes, she would like to come back and do it. Well then, unfortunately,
and they were like, hey, as long as Pip and Jane Baker give the okay,
yes,
because they own, they're the ones that created the character, and they were like, absolutely, and so they were ready to go, and they were getting the script ready at Big Finish, and it became aware that Kate was becoming ill, and then she ultimately passed, I think, a lot faster than everybody was expecting. Yeah, but then her agent or whatever was all like, no, she still wants the character to go on.
Yeah, so recast, and I feel like and maybe the news got this wrong, but I feel like she had like given the okay for this particular actress, Siobhan Redmond.
I think she chose her as her successor.
But they didn't mention it in the interview. That's why I was a little bit like, did I remember that
Yeah,
wrong?
according to the notes, the producer notes that if you could still get your hands on the physical CD, the paper insert, there's notes from David Richardson, the writer, and Kate's agent emailed saying that she loved the character, hoped they would proceed with a new incarnation. And actually, he's the one that suggested Siobhan.
Okay, those are agents.
So he'd seen her in some other things and just liked the cut of her jib. So
yeah, well, and it sounded like she'd been in Big Finish before and done something. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta go find those other ones that she did. But no, so that's kind of where we are with this, and of course, the Rani being a Time Lord. That's not a big deal to recast. It's like, oh, you regenerated. Moving on.
And I think all things considering, with this audio, they only needed to put a couple lines in there,
right?
Yeah.
When they do the reveal anyway.
Yeah.
When Perry, Perry's she gets the reveal face to face. Of course, the doctor figures it out. Who it is, because it's Rani. He knows his fellow Time Lords. Yeah, but all you needed to do in there was put a little line that she says, it's like, oh, Perry, the Time Lords can change their face,
right?
2 and 2 makes 4.
And she's like, oh yes, and Perry has witnessed regeneration before, one of the more traumatic ones.
Yes.
Which she references in this as well.
Yes.
Which I thought was just kind of, tug at the heartstrings and a little bit bittersweet too. And I, as you're listening to these big finishes, I don't know how you guys are, but when you're listening to these, you kind of have to like think, okay, where does this fit in the TV thing?
Timeline.
The timeline, like, oh yeah, she has. That's right, and like, oh, it was Caves of Androzani. Damn it.
Well, and then too, I like how the Rani makes a nod to Sylvester McCoy. She's just like, oh, this isn't the regeneration I was expecting. I was expecting the one with the hat and the.
Yeah, the doctor's like, la la la, I don't want to hear about timelines. Yeah, because it was Kate's incarnation that. She appeared twice on television, once with Colin and then once with Sylvester. And actually,
McCoy's first story.
It is actually Kate, that version of the Rani that's responsible for my doctor regenerating, which she references in this more than once. And I'm like, don't remind me.
And yet you still like her as a character.
I know.
I know. It is like, it is the hardest thing to come to terms with. You're just like, but I hate you, but you're
talk about extreme mixed feelings.
I love to hate you though.
Yes.
It's because she's so well written. It's such a fun character. Which I mean, it's no surprise that she was created by Pip and Jane Baker, because they were just some of the as much as people complained about where Doctor Who was going towards the end, they were some of the best writers they had.
Yeah, and I don't
as the show
necessarily place the blame on them. I place it kind of on a certain showrunner.
Yes,
just put it that way.
Being cheaper than usual,
right?
He who shall not be named.
Not be named. Yes.
There's a lot. There was a lot going on. It wasn't just them.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so if you have not watched Mark of the Rani, that's the Sixth Doctor one. That's one of my favorite Sixth Doctor episodes. I mean, not that there's a whole ton to choose from, but it's a good one. It's excellent. But yeah, the Rani's always been good, which is why for all those years I was like, come on, man, like you're gonna bring back the Master a gazillion times. Why can't you give the Rani a turn?
Like, how many incarnations of the Master have we had since Doctor Who returned?
Boy.
John Sims. Well, no, wait. Derek Jacobi, John Sims, Missy,
Sasha.
So 4.
Yeah, I mean, and how many were in the classic series? You had.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You had Delgado. You had Ainley,
Crispy Master.
Right.
And,
Jeffrey Beaver.
Yeah.
And Big Finish.
So yeah, it's like, come on, you guys.
Mr. I was dressing for the occasion.
Oh yes. Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like the Masters had more than a half dozen, going into double digits incarnations. We're on the 3rd for the Rani.
Yeah. So. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I guess they're kind of like, oh well, she's just they're like, she's not gonna twirl the mustache and cackle maniacally, I suppose. But no, I mean, it's just for something different and something interesting. It's sort of what I really like about her.
And this one, I mean, Siobhan, she definitely brings her own feel to it. It's funny listening to this, because I had not listened to these. You think I would have ages ago, but time gets away from you. You're busy listening to other stuff. I can only listen to one thing at a time, despite what my brain sometimes tries to convince me otherwise. It's not like I've been watching soccer and also listening to music at the same time or something.
There's a lot.
I try to mentally multitask. It doesn't always work. But it was interesting because when we, and this seems, I don't know if this is the general consensus, but when Holly and I were on Next Stop Everywhere talking about the episodes with the twoist, two incarnations 3 and 4, I guess, of the Rani, that some people had issues with the personality, and after listening to this, I'm like, well, actually no, because I mean that seems to be that just like with the Doctor and with the Master, like the underlying personality that makes that Time Lord who they are is always going to be there, but that each actor is going to bring their own twist and version of it. And this is exactly that. I think Siobhan, hers is a bit more, and until she gets really towards the end where they foil her plan, which she said Perry and the Doctor were not going to be able to. It was foiled. There's no way they were going to thwart her plans. She's like, it's unthwartable. And when she realized she'd been thwarted, she's flying off the handle because she's pissed off. But otherwise, she is very, that's the thing with Rani, is she does not fly off the handle as easily as the Master does.
No, she doesn't. And I really liked going back to the interview bit where it's like Colin is talking about, hey, there's a new incarnation of the Rani, and he's talking about how a new actor brings something new to the role, but there's always that core of who the character is underneath. So it's like the core, it's the same, but it's different, and through all the incarnations of the Doctor. It's like you have this is who the Doctor is these are the core principles, the core character, and then everything else kind of is window dressing. But this is my interpretation. It's window dressing of that core, like a skeleton, like an outline almost, and then everything else, the muscle and all that other stuff. So the same thing with the Rani is, yes, this is a different person playing her, but her core, the core of the character is there, and it's like, oh yeah, I can totally see this being the Rani's just another incarnation, and it's awesome, and I love it. And she does an excellent job, and it's a good, excellent choice. Just
and it
all the way.
Yeah. I mean, the plot, her ploy is very Ronnie-esque. She's essentially stealing people's brains.
And
Talk about,
as...
the core of a person. I mean, she's essentially, that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's like Get Out,
Mm-hmm.
but with academics.
Pretty much.
It is
It's
very
just
much.
I'm gonna make sure
this
I'm
is
the
this is
smartest
Get
person
Out
in the room, and here we
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
Except
like,
she wants to
I
use.
need your brain. Can I
Yeah.
have it? Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. But in this
there's-
case, instead of just putting old people into young bodies and the old person being kind of stuck, which is the kind of the premise for Get Out. The essence of the person, the personality and the brains and everything goes into a computer, and she's going to essentially turn it into a giant supercomputer using all these smart people.
Yep, as you do, I guess. It's just like
When you're the
okay,
Ronnie,
yeah,
you
this
do.
lady, oh, she nuts. But and she doesn't care that you think she's nuts, because she's just like, look, I got stuff I gotta do, and whatever you're doing, just shoot. Like, like you're just in my way. You're annoying me. So like she doesn't get violent or anything until you're in her way and she's annoyed by you, which is why the doctor infuriates her so much, because he's always in her way with good reason.
Yes.
So it's a different sort of dynamic between her and the doctor versus like the master and the doctor.
Yes.
The master.
I mean, even the master annoyed her. So that tells you something.
Those two would have been in a cage match. Don't ask me who would win. I would think it would be a draw, or they both pop out and where'd they go?
Yeah.
No, and she's like, go away.
Yeah,
Which is, it's a different dynamic, and it's an interesting dynamic and kind of fun to watch.
Okay.
Yes,
as long as you don't think too hard about. Oh gosh, she is doing some really horrid things.
If anybody from Big Finish would be listening, be it our two current Ronnies, the Siobhan Rani, I would love for one of those incarnations to meet Michelle Gomez's Missy. That would be a dream come true.
Oh
good Lord.
The sass, I would love it.
Off the freaking charts,
right?
I mean, I'd be there with the popcorn and a blankie for it. Like, okay, I'm ready.
It's like, I'm going to stay out of your way. You all just do your thing. I'm not here.
Yeah.
We'd all be like Willy Wonka in that meme. Like,
oh, the suspense is pulling me.
I hope it'll last.
So Rani Elite. It was, and I love that's like the doctor is going to accept an honorary degree, and he's like, oh, he's doing what he does.
Which is a huge carrot on a stick for the Sixth Doctor.
Of course. And it's like, of course he's gonna fall for this, like, duh. And as you're listening, like, okay, how you can kind of tell what's gonna happen. You can kind of tell, but you're along for the ride, because first off, it's Six and Perry, so they've got their banter going back and forth, and it's just so good, so fun. It's so fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Because Nicola and Colin are just, I've heard Nicola call it like, I'm just putting on an old pair of shoes, and it's just so fun. Oh, but you're so good with it, and it's a treat. It's like, we're coming home. And then you have the Ronnie on top of that, the Ronnie shenanigans going on, and it's something horrible, and these poor people who are just being absolutely tortured, and she doesn't care. And it's almost like you almost feel bad, like relishing in it, but at the same time, you're like, oh, it'll be fine by the end. The doctor will figure it out. And this one is a pretty straightforward. Like, she takes the place of a famed, professor. She's in a college, a an academic setting, so of course there's a lot of really brilliant people around, and so you've got that sort of setup, which works really well. So this one is a pretty straightforward and easy to understand, and not hard to follow at all. I really liked it. I had a good time listening to it, but there was enough like second guessing, like, ooh, how's this gonna work? What's gonna happen? And I mean, the bit where Perry gets hooked up to the machine, and then they're like, oh, we disconnected you, you're fine, and then she starts talking. I'm like, no, she's not. Nope, that is not Perry. That is not.
Yep.
And
poor Perry, like when they were like, put her on the machine, and she's like, Doctor, you said this wouldn't happen again, because
this has happened to her
like
before.
The poor girl keeps
Right.
it's like the third time she's been like essentially her body's been possessed by somebody else, and at least the second time that she's been strapped to a machine where they're gonna do something with her head.
Yes, it's just like, oh my gosh, poor Perry. I mean, I hope the I hope the honorary degree in botany kind of helped soften the blow on that. But good grief, like, give the poor girl a break, man. But no, that's what Perry exists for, to get strapped down and brain whatever.
Scrambled.
Scrambled, yeah, over easy, poor thing.
Yeah.
But that was really sweet that the doctor did that in the end. I'm like, oh, you really are just a big softy old 60. Oh, so it was a good one. This one was like, I think I would definitely go back and listen to this one again. Just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there were several times where I just like, there's some good lines in here.
Oh yeah,
and
very, very well.
Yeah, I was just like, several times where I was just cracking up, just because of the I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but I am a sucker for a multi-time lord story, whether it's the Doctor encountering another version of himself, if it's more than one master, if it's the Rani and the master, just the Time Lords, even the Doctor, as fantastic as a character they are, Perry definitely is aware of that with the kind of the memoir that she's starting to create in that data cube.
Oh yeah,
is that the Doctor may be wonderful, but at the end of the day, you're still a Time Lord, and there's just there's going to be some of the stuff that was ingrained in him as going through the academy and stuff.
Yes, there's that stuff that's like, the Doctor is always talking to the companion, to his companion, and saying, oh, this this is what this thing is, and this is what that thing is. Like, he's teaching somebody something, but then you have the master or the Rani with him or whoever, and it's like, oh, we're getting a glimpse into Time Lord society, which we don't get very often, and that's kind of why I like it. Why I like
you need a Time Lord to encounter another Time Lord, and it's like
they drop all these little hints and like, ooh, what was that about? But I don't necessarily want to know, because I'm like, I like the mystery. I like the sort of, there's this untouchable society that humans are not capable of understanding, even though, you have the Doctor going, I want to hang out with humans and teach them and take them on, all this stuff, whatever. But it's just kind of that whole, that sort of mystique about it. It's just so much fun. And so much like, oh my gosh, we got, it's like when you're, I don't know if if you're at the hair salon and there's like two people over there talking, gossiping about something that you don't know much about, and you probably won't, but you're just kind of like sitting there, like listening, like, say more, I'm interested.
Well, I was just thinking, like, when like multiple more than one Time Lord gets together, it's like when you kind of it's like, not to throw my husband under the bus, but when he gets together with some of his friends from like childhood and like high school, they tend to regress.
Oh yeah,
because you just get it. You get in socializing with certain people, and you kind of adjust to so that you're more in sync with those specific people because you have a certain history with
and you
them.
like go back, like, I remember you in this context, so that's the kind of context we're going to act like and talk about these things that, you know, maybe don't, like, absolutely do not matter anymore, but we're like, but do you remember when blah 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 happened in high school or things like that?
Exactly. So it's like you get multiple Time Lords together, and they all kind of just like, oh, we're just gonna act like the uppity Time Lords that we are.
This and this in the academy and blah blah blah. And poor
I mean, the Doctor even calls out the Rani by like
her name,
her actual name.
Yeah.
Or at least the name that he knew her at the academy, kind of like how the Masters referred to the Doctor as Thea.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean there's just something about when the Time Lords when they get together, it's just kind of kind of a hot mess, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, and we're, you know, us mere humans are just kind of like popcorn. Keep going, guys. We're good. This is fascinating.
It's like it's like I'm ready for the Sassathon.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Especially with these particular, especially with the Rani and this particular Doctor. The penchant for Sass is, you know, it's like guaranteed.
And I think, and you know, that's probably because, you know, the Rani was introduced during Six's run, so that's probably where all that comes from. It's like, oh, let's have Colin and, you know, Kate O'Mara doing the banter back and forth in the show, and then, you know, it continues on even into, you know that, well, when these two audios were produced, you know, it well into the 21st century. It's like, oh, it's so fun. It's so good, and so it kind of, you know, makes the Rani's horribleness, I don't want to say more palatable, but more like, oh yeah, this isn't, you know, the Doctor's going to take care of this. We're not worried, even though we should be horrified by what's going on, but we it's just it's part of the story, part of the conflict. So and it was good to follow that in the first one. I confess I kind of had a hard time with the second one, the Planet of the Rani. I have a hard time kind of following it a little bit, just because there was so much more alienness, even though the first the Rani Elite was on an alien university, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a space university.
University.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to the Planet of the Rani at some point. I know that, like, I know enough that the Planet of the Rani, as far as this incarnation of the Rani is concerned, it's 97 years later for her, because she does get locked up for 97 years.
Yeah, that happened.
But beyond that, I don't really know a whole lot. Unfortunately, there's only the two Big Finish right now with this particular incarnation, and
I know, and I'm like, oh, come on, there's got to be more, but nope, that's all they've done so far.
Yeah, but that's not to say that, you know, because we don't know how this incarnation turns into Mrs. Flood.
Right.
There's a lot of room right there, and then we don't know what Mrs. Flood, how soon after she turned into that face, she started on the whole following Shudigatwa's Doctor. You know, she could have been piddling around for a while with Mrs. Flood's face before going on the whole mission with trying to get Omega back. So.
Unless that was part of her game plan even before she changed into Mrs. Flood. We don't.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
There's a lot of stuff to be dug into.
We don't know how much time passed in between the Intergalactic Song Contest and Wish World.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
after the Bi-Generation. So there's potentially room there for those two. Either we could see how how it changed the switch to Conrad's world. And then obviously Mrs. Flood takes off, so she could come back.
I mean, we got a whole wealth of storyline.
Yeah. It's not that we're like timeline wise. It's not that we're like in a box and they can't write something.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I figure, maybe just Siobhan Redmond is busy with other projects. I don't know. That would be, I mean, good for her if she is, but maybe, Big Finish, just give her a call. And because we would definitely welcome more of her Rani in our ear holes.
Yes.
Whether it's with the Doctor or you give her own spin-off box set thing, sure, yes, all of it, please.
Companion Chronicles,
or
we're here for it.
Yeah, I mean now we've had both companions that encountered the Rani on TV encounter the Rani again and be able to at least give her somewhat of what's on their mind as far as their opinion of her.
Yep.
Honestly, I doubt she cares, but that's all right.
Yep. Especially if it was a companion that was post or from New Who, but pre-shooting. So as far as they know, the Time Lords are extinct because of the Time War, not because of what the crazy Rasputin Master did.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah, this was a good one. So good choice, Brittany.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have some links in the show notes to some various websites that go into like some of the like what happened with the passing of Kate O'Mara and stuff like that. So but yeah, this is because this is I mean it is almost 10, it's more than 10 years old, this one, but it is not, it is it's audio 194, so it is not one that is either on that playlist on Spotify or extremely discounted. Although it is fairly inexpensive because it is digital only. The CDs are no longer available for this one. So the audio is going to run you about $10, give or take, if you're doing US or, British pounds.
Visit the Big Finish website. Not a sponsor, but we take sponsorship.
Yeah.
Right.
BT dubs, but
or discount codes.
Discount codes. No, it's a good one. Very much recommended.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're a Big Finish listener, give it a shot. It's a good one.
Yep. So, all right. If anybody no, I think that's all we got. I know we're on a bit of a time crunch because you need to pass on your equipment to Jared. So
I don't mean to rush, but I'm a little bit under a time crunch. But we're doing fine on time. Yeah. So the second one that we listened to that Brittany chose is Planet.
Actually, it's just the first one.
This is the first one.
Yeah.
Part 2, we will. I can spoil, but part 2 of the Rani is going to be my birthday pick.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
I missed that memo. Sorry.
That's okay.
That is okay.
I was thinking in advance for stuff, so I was like,
yeah.
So are we not doing one at your birthday? This is it.
No, we're saving we're saving the second Ronnie for
Her
birthday.
birthday, which won't be until the fall. So,
I already listened to it. I'll listen to it.
Good for
again.
you.
Good for you.
Never mind then. I was going to review it.
Teacher's pet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, eager
Hey,
beaver,
you know what?
got ahead of the homework.
I was the teacher's pet, but that's only because I'm like, well, once they give you homework and you're supposed to start it, I mean, you can't just stop.
Yeah.
That is true. I always used to read
Stuff
ahead.
I gotta do.
Me too.
I don't need to have this hanging around me and be like, oh, I got to do that thing. Just get it done. No, I will listen to it again in September.
Okay. It's all good. It's all good.
I was a little stressed. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get this finished, and I was listening to it at work. But
Yeah.
that's okay. Anyway, but it was so. Cool.
Yeah. It's
Then
like
I
I
don't
said,
have to
there's
touch it.
only 2 at the moment. So, it's like Girl Scout cookies. There's only so much until you might get some more. So,
I wish they were like Pringles, but
yeah.
We'll be fine. We will be fine.
Yep.
Okay, so then I will not talk about the planet of the Rani because we're not doing that right now.
Nope.
All right. So
Not
anyway,
yet.
Not yet.
Okay. All right, friends. So yeah, Rani Elite's great. We'll do the other one later. Anyway, well, if is that so are we good? Anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we got it covered.
Okay, cool. So after that minor freak out, sorry again. But if any of our listeners have any thoughts on, the Rani or Doctor Who, Big Finish, whatever, this audio, if you've listened to it, or just anything that we've talked about earlier, send us some feedback. Our email address is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also visit our website, which is thefiveishfangirls.com. That has links to our social media. You can leave comments. You can, to see what we're up to, what we got. We also have a YouTube channel. You can leave comments there when we post our podcast in video format. I mean, you can't see us, but you can hear us on YouTube. We'll put some extras up there as well. And then also check out our Patreon and our merch shop. That helps support the podcast, keep us going, keep us on the airwaves, and however it is you choose to support us. We thank you, of course, for listening, for all your support, for your feedback, for your patronage. It's awesome, and we love you. And yes, everybody stay cool out there, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere where it's summertime and we're getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not loving it, but that's a me thing. I just don't love summer in general.
Yep.
That's us.
All right. Okay, so that gives you plenty of time to make sure that you can get yourself detangled so that you can pass along, and Jared's got time to get ready for his thing. So
yes, and again, that's Jared is going to be on Geek Gab.
Yep.
By the time this goes up, the live stream will have happened. So
yes.
But you'll be able to watch it on the YouTube channel, which I link to in the show notes.
Yep.
So, there you go.
And check out his books.
Yes, and check out the books, please. They're awesome. They're getting good ratings. They are available on Kindle Unlimited if you have that, or you can just, ebook isn't that expensive. He tries to keep it reasonable. But it's good times. So thank you for those who have supported it and who have read it and who have left have left reviews and ratings, because that is gold to an so yeah.
It's gold to just any independent creator.
Yes.
Yep.
You don't have to leave an elaborate review. Star rating is great. Even if you just say on your little review, I really liked it, can't wait for the next one, or something to those. It doesn't have to be fancy.
No, that doesn't have to be some great prose.
Nope.
Extolling the virtues of this piece of literature that you have just consumed.
If you want to leave something like that, sure, we'll take it.
Yeah.
But something, anything, but keep it simple.
Yep.
Keep it simple. If that's what you can give, that's great.
Alrighty then. Well, with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bengal saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. So what were you doing? Hoping to organize some pre-publicity? Cheerleaders and a brass band, perhaps? Thank you, our Fiveish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefiveishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FiveishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.